Hi, thank you for watching eSailing TV. You can follow us on different social medias online. Go to twitch.tv/eSailingTV and follow us, or just go to Twitch, write eSailing TV in the search area. Then you come to our channel. Here you can scroll down, see the rest of the social medias we are on. YouTube, Facebook, homepage. Please subscribe. Get direct notifications when we are online. You can also go on the videos. If you didn't watch the last live show, you go here and see it. You can also see some of the clips we are doing, or clips some of the other viewers have been doing. Are you more the Facebook type? Then please go to Facebook, write eSailing TV. Then you will get to our Facebook page. When you're in the Facebook page, you can see the live shows. We're doing live shows on two channels, Twitch and Facebook. But when you're scrolling down, you will also see clips, small clips, learning videos of what we're doing. Here we're attacking people. Here we're attacking sports federations. So a lot of people will know that we are live. Please share, please like, please follow us. We're also on YouTube. Go to YouTube, write eSailing TV. If you're going on eSailing TV, you can see a lot of videos. Right now, more than 100 videos are online. Here you can go back in time, see some of the races, or see some of the really good duels we have. You can also see a learning video. We're placing everything up there, but we're not sending live on YouTube. I just have to say thank you for following eSailing TV. Please subscribe, please like, please share what we're doing. Together we're growing eSailing TV and eSailing in total. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to eSailing TV. My name is Bjørn-Lüthi, and today I'm not all alone in studio. Actually, I am alone in studio, but I have a guest with me. He's sitting in Sydney and he's live with me today. Welcome in studio, Steve NZ77, or Steve the Pirate Duck.
Thanks, Thomas. You're never alone, mate. We're always with you. We're always watching. So, thanks for inviting me back.
Oh, Steve, your sound went out. Yeah, you're there. Oh, we just have a small lag. So
I'm there.
It's good to have you in studio. All exciting. I know. We have just been doing some sound tests and everything. And Steve, finally we got you live in studio. We really love it.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's been a little while. Life got a little busy. I went to Japan, and then I came back and was busy and didn't get a chance to come. And we always have a lot of fun on these programs, and it's always it's a great buzz. I mean, I love the sailing, and I know you're doing such a great job there creating this eSailing TV program, and everyone's really enjoying it. There's a lot of very grateful people, so I'm always really happy and glad to be able to come on, share an hour or so with you, Thomas. Yep.
It's fantastic to have real sailors and e-sailors sit with me in the studio, and also when they're sitting around the world. And Steve, it's always a great pleasure to have you here in studio. And Steve, people are making fun with you online at the moment and saying that you're the most playing person at the moment. It's because it's holidays. We've just been on holidays, both of you. And Steve, are you addicted to the game or what?
Yeah, I'm addicted to the game. But if you're going to have an addiction, it's not a bad addiction to have. But I have. I've just started my holidays, so I've had a couple of days where I can really spend some time on the game. And because this is a qualifying round and there's a lot of good players playing, I saw it as an opportunity to practice because we're gearing up. This is the last qualifying before actual finals, and it's nice to be able to play with some of the top guys and practice against them. So I think you'll see later on when you look at the scoreboard.
Do you mean this one?
This one here, Happy Days is my boat. 138 races. It stands out a little bit.
138 races, Steve. That's cool. And I can see you have an average of 63.6. That's cool.
You know what? Let me give an answer there. Let me respond on that 63.8 because actually, after I did my initial races, I was practicing a new type of start, which is a little risky, but it's trying to start. Yeah, it's a little different, but very risky, and it's. So I made a lot of cock-ups trying to do that, and actually my average went down. So I will defend myself and say my average shouldn't be that poor, but I was trying some risky start.
Yeah. But it's cool. I'm really enjoying because I know a lot of the players online. I think I know more than 200 of the players I've been following now. I know the way they're sailing and why they're sailing and where the strange, where they're strong in the sailing and where they have their failures. And I was just lucky and happy to see Happy Days was with me online. But Steve, you've been doing more than 138 races. You made your best serious score after 138 races.
Yeah.
So maybe you've been doing 200 runs.
Yeah. That happened though just maybe an hour or so ago. So I've probably only done about 40. I've done only another couple of races after that. So yeah, that happened not just a little while ago.
It's cool. But Steve, let's look into this summer playoff, and when we're going into this summer playoff, we can see since I was live 1.5 days ago, Sailing Shark is still in front. I've never seen this boat before, so I don't know who Sailing Shark is.
Well, you know me, Thomas, I always give away all the secrets, right?
Yeah.
And I think the guys, you know, they go, oh, Steve's on, oh no, the secret's going to be out. We've got one boat who you know is, who's probably one of the best sailors there that you know. I know you know a lot of them, but who's this young up-and-coming guy that's been...
This is More Racing and Asir. These two are really good players. They're young, they're from Cuba/France and Denmark. They are young sailors.
Well, here's the little secret. That Sailing Jack is a seer.
Okay.
I'm gonna let all the secrets out, guys. There's no secrets around here anymore. But there's a good reason for it actually, and I'll explain. Asir is a very, very good. He's top, and it's amazing how fast he became so good. He, after only 1 month or 2 months of playing this game, he rose to the top. You know, like a cream of the milk. He just rose to the top, and he's actually, because he's so good, what happens is it's like in all sport. When you're good, people tend to target you.
Yeah.
They see you as the one, they think if they can beat you, they can beat everybody else. So they think, you know, so because he was sailing as a seer and everybody was targeting him, he created a new boat, gave it an Australian flag, and so that way he can race a little bit undercover. But once again, the cream always rises to the top, right? So the he is sitting at the top. Yeah.
Yeah. But here we see this. Can you see this check mark? This blue one they made in Virgin Regatta Inshore. They official mark some of the top players, or some of them been doing most regattas. What do you think about this thing?
Well, this is great. These guys are people who belong to official sailing clubs. So if you're a real sailor and you belong to a proper sailing club, then you can enter your details in when you join into the eSailing, and it will it gives you the tick, and when you click on that person, it'll actually take you through, and you can see the details. Here we go. We can RSX Mistral. So you know he can show his windsurfer since 2001. So you know there's people like, I think you've got Lucas Moore. He's there as too, and is he a bit further somewhere? Lucas.
Yeah. We'll have to seek him. Then let's while we're speaking, go out.
Because he's already qualified
on my friend list.
He's already qualified, so he's not able to go on there. But yeah, he's Lucas Moore. See, so when he's actually won races, he's a really good sailor, and so when people have got some sort of achievements, it shows up. There he is. There, he's got the blue tick. Yep. This was the blue tick.
And let's see him. There he is.
There it is. So Youth Match Race Worlds, J80, Danish National Champion 2008, and the winner of the Cicero Cup, which was, as you know,
this is
eSailing Cup.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that was a great cup to win, because there were 20 of the top guys in that race, 20 people in one race, you know, and there was a series of... So to come out ahead of that was pretty something. So I think after that, people have seen Lucas as one of the guys to watch, you know, as we're coming up towards the finals, because as you've explained to people before, at the end of all of this playoffs, there's going to be a set of racing, and the top 8 people are going to be going off to Bermuda.
We just sometimes we're losing connection to Sydney. So Steve, are you there again?
Yeah,
he's
I'm
there.
here. I was just saying that the Now, Lucas is really one to watch, I think, especially since he won the Cicero Cup against 20 of the top guys. I mean, 20 people on one racetrack or one field, it gets a bit hectic. So for him to be able to come through and win that showed his talent. So I think, people realize he's one guy to watch. And of course, as you said, Asir's one to watch. But we've got all the guys that were there last year, people like Cruiselator, people like KZ7, and people like L1 and of course Velista 71. These guys that were the champions last year, they're still the top guys. And even though there's been some new blood coming through, like you've seen, I'm thinking he's a young guy, such a good sailor. So I'm thinking Asir. I heard you talking the other night about Asir. He's not quite as young as you think. He's about 24.
But that's still young in eSailing. I've seen the average age. Alexander Menino, L1, yes. Alberto Camaro, Steve the Pirate Dog. I just have to say, they are young guys.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not so young. I'm 57, but so we've got, and here we've got, I'm thinking, who's 14. So we've got people from 14 to 60, Actually, there's probably some youngers, people probably from around about 10 to about 60 playing this game. And anyone in that age group can be at the top.
Yeah, but Steve, we have a question in the chat. How to get the blue mark?
Yeah, so when you enter in your details, you've got a place where in the settings there where your details, and down below you have to enter your sailing number.
Okay.
And when you enter your sailing number of the club that you belong to, then your details will show and you'll get the blue tick.
Oh, cool. Then Confluentia and you can't get a blue mark, and me either, because we don't have a sailing number. We are non-sailors that's grown up in eSailing world and know so much about the game. So thank you, Steve.
Thomas, as I said to Lucas the other day, I don't want a blue tick because it's just going to put a target on my back. I said, Lucas, you're a target now. Anyone I see with a blue tick, I figure I want to.
It's cool. Just to say, when we're looking here, we can see I'm scrolling down on the left side here. We can see when I'm looking in here, we can see how it's going for Lucas, how many good results he's been doing, which races he has been in. So if you're curious on players online, how they're doing, then go in and watch them and see their basic results, also which level they are in. You can chat directly with them. You can see Lucas, he has been tagging in his Twitter, his Instagram and his homepage. He actually has been creating more racing for doing eSailing and real sailing with his family, where they want to promote themselves in this racing world. So it's fantastic. Steve, you and we can speak together all day and have fun. But I think let's go in and watch some races. I can see a race just started here, and some of the good players are with us already. So let's go in and watch the first race and commentate. And Steve, I know you are really known in the community, so will you please take us through? I'll just make a small presentation. Chewbacca, we have Yes2, we have Librium, we have Pio Pio, we have Amatero, we have CU, so they're all getting ready for this start. 10 seconds, Steve, all up to you.
Well, somebody's already over the line. We've got Amateur already gone over, but he's coming back. He's just trying to position himself. But all of these sailors are good players. Actually, looking at all these names, and it's because it's the playoffs. It was only the people had to qualify to be able to get to be in this racing. So who have we got? Pio, the white boat, which one of the white boats is the Pio? There he is. Okay. So looking at top left-hand corner, Thomas, you can see these windsocks, right? That there's the one on the left is pointing a bit to the right, and the one in the middle is pointing to the left. So these guys, it can be a little bit confusing because it also looks like there's more wind out to the left-hand side. So this is where the judgment of the skill of knowing where's the best. Well, the Pio on the right-hand side there, he's in the best place because look how strong that wind is coming from the right to the left, and he's going to have a real advantage because the other boats, when they tack towards the wind or into the wind, they can't get such a great angle to the mark. So he's definitely in the best position at the moment. But so there's Pio. Can we do the overhead view and look down on them from the two-dimensional view?
Yes, we're going into the 2D 2-sec. We will tack them here.
There it is. Okay, we can really see the picture here, and we can also see the good angle of the windsock on Pio, and we can see that windsock is going from right to left. So he's in the most favorable direction. So even if those boats there that are turning up now, he should pass in front of them because he's got the right angle for the wind. So No, he's going to come in, and he's also got right of way because he's on starboard. They have to give way. Okay, he must have decided it's going to be a bit close, and I'm just better the tack because the wind has shifted a little bit. Actually, if you look up in the corner there at the windsocks, the windsock which is pointing way to the left has moved back now. So it's sort of central and moving back the other way. But these guys, now Equilibrium, he's also a really well-known player. Often, many of the good players have got more than one boat because people qualified for the other championship, for these playoffs. And once you're qualified, you can't go in the playoffs anymore. So sometimes people want to keep racing with the good boats. So Equilibrium is actually your good friend. Look at him come around here. You know, is Equilibrium. So, you know, he's a great sailor. Alessandro is one of the top. You know, we were guessing players who we think are going to make the top 8, and I think a lot of people put his name down. I mean, look at him go. He's taken off. But look, CU who's behind him. Yes, 2 Pio, Chabasco, and Amateur. All these guys are really good sailors.
But see how we turned around the mark, close to it, and handling out penalties to them. It's amazing to see when you know the rules, you know the game, how players just are using the rules. And I love it. This is part of the esport.
Yeah, Alessandro is a master at that. He is so good at being able to give people penalties and aim to avoid them himself. You know, he's got the nickname the Butcher because if you get in his way, he'll cut you up. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's so. I really respect him. At first, you know, when I was playing this game, I didn't like the way he played because I thought, "Gosh, this guy's so aggressive," you know. But it's part of the game. It's part of the game is to find ways to give penalties to other players because it slows them down for 12 seconds. And it's great if you can get 12 seconds gain on somebody. It means, because it's all okay now going upwind now, right? You're putting your shadow on the people behind you. But once you turn that top and you start heading downwind, the roles revert. And the guys that are behind you are suddenly using their wind shadow on you to attack you. So, you know, if you can put a penalty on someone to be able to get a bit of an extra lead so they can't attack you, it's all fair in love and sailing. Yeah, so they're very close behind them. I mean, CU and Yes 2. Okay, well, Yes 2 has had to turn away, so he's going to have lost a bit of space here. But good play there from Chabasco to come through like that. He went from 4th up to 3rd, but now it's up to who's somebody going to be close enough to be able to put some wind shadow on Alessandro or Equilibrium.
He's way ahead. He will only throw 28 meters wind shadow in this boat class. So he's going for the win. But we have a fight for 2nd, 3rd, and then we see Yes 2 is going away from the fight, so he can be all by himself as the 2 other boats are fighting and come from behind. Let's try to go to 2D. Here we can see it.
Exactly. And that's a smart move to do that. We're actually just talking about that today with Empower, in that when you're battling sometimes, if you can see the 2 boats in front of you start battling, you're best just to keep out of the way and let them battle, because often they end up wasting so much time and distance that you can gain 1 or 2 places. We've all had the situation, Thomas, where you're in front and you're fighting for first with the person that's coming second, and the 2 of you have such a big battle that the person who is coming third just sails through and wins the race. Yeah.
And here we see Equilibrium coming in from first, and then we can see the fight. See all of them fighting, so all the boats clustering up, but it's CU getting in second. Pio, no, it's going to be Chabasco third, Pio 4th, and then Amateur 5. And he kept out of the fight and came in from behind. Nicely done. So
yeah, he did. He did that. He did a smart move. He went to where the most wind was with the best direction, and he let the other guys fight it out, and he just jumped in there and stole 3rd. Mind you, CU also did that. CU also kept out of the fight a bit. So the 2 losers were Pio and Amateur that really battled too much.
Yeah, they battled all too much. We are often seeing skippers and players battling a lot of it, and then suddenly they lose. Just to say, if Steve is losing the connection sometimes, Steve, you're back again, I can see. It's because of we're connected with him in Sydney, and I'm sitting home in Denmark, so we are opposite side of the world, and doing this commentating together. Steve, are you there still with us?
I am. Am I losing out? Getting
Now,
cut off
sometimes we're just losing you for 1 or 2 seconds, then you're coming back. So don't worry, it will go fine. Just to say, we're doing a streaming in Denmark. You sitting home in Sydney, the opposite way. Just to say, it is on the straight on the opposite side of the world where we're doing this together with only a variation of 0.2 seconds delay. So it's fantastic. So this was the first race, Steve, and we can see it's a day boat class. We're not managed to go into this race here because we want to see the start. So we're waiting for this 3 out of 7. So while we're waiting, Steve, in the day boat racer, it's a slow boat, it's huge sails, it's wind shadow, it's an okay speed upwind, but it's fast downwind. So how to race this boat?
This, I didn't like this boat so much before because the other boat, the Nakra, which is really fast, and the 49 are both really fast. And I felt like, this J70 is so slow. But, after this 138 races, I love this boat because there's so much more strategy. Because it's slower and requires the angles. And the other big thing about it is it has that big wind shadow. So coming downwind when you've got that wind shadow, if you're behind, you can actually, if you play it right, you can catch up to the other boats and get past. It's very hard to do that in the Nakra and the 49er. If the person in front knows what they're doing, they can stay in front. But this boat, they really are really great for racing and getting a competition going because you can battle it out. And because of the wind shadow, it gives you the chance, like we were just watching with those boats there, right? There's people from behind can catch the boats from behind by putting people behind can catch the boats in front by putting their wind shadow on. Oh, this would be a good race.
Yeah, okay. I saw the names.
Yes.
So let's have a small presentation before going into it. We have from Spain, Piu Piu. We have Amateur with us. From Russia, we have Imol with us. I can't know that flag. Do you know it, Steve?
The which flag? I don't know that flag. No, I don't know that one.
No. Devil Slayer from Japan, Sylvia from Great Britain, and Eckenförde from Germany, close by us here at eSailing TV. And Steve, it's all up to you now. Please.
Well, here we go. So here we've got Devil's Lair. I'll tell you, you won't mind me. Most of us know, but this is also Sean Bond, the Japanese sailor. Sean Bond, he's a great sailor, such a good player, and so I would say he's going to be up close to the front. There's also, all of these, once again, they're all good players. Pio was just in the last race doing pretty well. So
we have a false start for Amateur and a false start to Piu Piu. Plus a slowdown for penalties. They are all out of the race now. So
and looking at that windsock, look at that up in the top left-hand corner. We've got all the winds coming from the right to the left, but where it's darker, there's more wind out to the left-hand side. Thomas, when you look at this, you start off and you head in that direction because the wind angle is good for you, but you have to think that when's the wind going to change? And if we can see here that Devil's Lair, he's decided to make a break. Because you can see that the windsock on the right hand side, is sort of, or both of them have all moved back a little. So he's figuring that the wind is now moving back the other way, and he's just trying to play the wind shift. This game really is, this is where it's so much like real sailing. In real sailing, you are aiming to always be heading in the most favorable direction for the wind, but also sometimes looking at which way the wind is likely to shift and putting yourself into the position to be able to make the most of that wind shift. So now look at this down the end there on the right-hand side. The wind is coming from right to left. So the people on the right-hand side of the course, they're going to get that nice shift coming in, but looking at the middle one and the left-hand one, they've both moved from left to right. And this is where VR have done such a great thing with the wind controls or the programming in this game. That it's look how you could say confused the wind is. Some left and some right, and it takes a lot of skill playing this game to be able to read the wind and know which is the best way to go. There's not just one side of the course that's going to be best. It's always changing. It makes it such an exciting game.
But here we see it's a close fight now. Sylvia coming on the inside, hitting the mark. So unlucky. But Eckenförde now, with a really, really bad start, are actually in front.
Look at that. Hey, just like that. So bad luck, Sylvia, though. He just tried to get him because it was really between a rock and a hard place. He needed to get round in front of SCE. Otherwise, he would have got a penalty. But instead, he got the penalty hitting the mark. But Devil's Lair is now sitting in fourth place. Well, I'd say that he's likely to catch up because he's, like I said, he's a very, really good sailor. But here we can see them battling with the wind shadow. See, so Devil's Lair is like we're talking about. He's allowing Pio to put the bad air on top of Sylvia, and just waiting for his opportunity. He doesn't want to get too caught up in that. He wants to let these guys fight it out, so he can just slide on past into second.
Yeah. But still, it's the German boat in front. It's Eckernförde coming around the gate mark first. Sylvia close by. Devil's Lair and Pio are fighting for third and second. Imo also back in race. This is going to be a close one, Steve. Nothing is over yet.
Nothing's over. You know, Thomas. This is a game that it's so amazing. When you're playing it, you get quite worked up, and when people do things to you, you can get quite upset, but you do those same things to other people when you're playing. I realized I became really hypocritical playing this game because when someone does something to me, I think, well, what are you doing? Get out of my way. Don't put that wind on me, like as if they're such a bad person. But I do the same thing to people all the time, and I look for the opportunities to give them penalties. You can become a little hypocritical because I guess we're all competitive, right?
And Steve, I'm from the esport world, so if I can make a penalty on others when sailing the boat, so look out of eSailing TV's boat, I will do it. Trust me. It's part of the game. So see how close they are right now. Sylvia, Pio, Devil's Lair, Imo. It's all about who's taking the fight when they're going downwind, who will take the second position. I can say Eckernförde, he is in front. This skipper, he will take the win. He's 28 meters ahead, so they can't catch up with him.
He's keeping out of the wind shadow, and that's a key thing. But once you get in front, and that is another thing. Once you get in front, if you can get far enough in front to be able to keep out of the wind shadow, it's like the rich get richer because while the people at the back are all fighting with each other's wind shadow and slowing each other down, the guy at the front just sails away. So yes, it is like that. If you can really make the break and to make sure that you go in the right direction and go with the best wind and keep away from the other people, from the others' wind shadow, you can really extend your lead. But look at that.
But here we have some interesting. See the two boats going to the right, Devil's Lair and Pio. They have faster speed than the boats to the left, Eckernförde and Sylvia. So right now, Pio and Devil's Lair are in front. So this fight we are going to deep into and see who will take. If they're not fighting too much, they will actually come in front of Eckernförde and he will lose his first position. See, 9.8, 7.5. Whoa.
Also, the angle though, Thomas, you see they had the great angle going down there with the wind was favourable, but they always had to turn eventually to head back the other way.
This is a close one.
This is close.
Pio first, Devil's Lair second, Eckernförde third. He was 28 meters ahead. So, but he chose the wrong side, didn't capture the wind. He's out of the race.
It really came down to that, he headed out that left-hand side. He was keeping clear of the wind shadow of other people, but he was the wind wasn't as strong, but also the other guys went where the direction was much more favorable. And they got a long way ahead, but once they turned, they always had to turn, and the wind direction wasn't going to be as favorable. But this is the key to it, is working out what's better. Is it better to go this direction where the wind's less favorable and then have the favorable wind, or should I take that favorable wind now, make the most of it, and maybe the wind might change and I might end up with another favorable wind when I get further down there? And what's the wind strength? Should I go with the stronger wind, or should I go this way where it's less wind but more favorable? This game this is the beautiful thing about this game. It's like no other game. I've played a little bit with like the racing cars or something, but it's set. The course is set. That's it. But this game, while you're playing, is constantly changing. The wind's coming from the left, coming from the right, different strength. And it's the one factor, and I guess it's like that's about sailing. What makes sailing so interesting is the wind. The factor of the wind is always changing.
But when we're looking into this chart, this is one of the charts we're not used to see. See Eckernförde in front most of the way, and just in front of the finish line, been overtaken by Devil's Lair and Pio. And this is one of the beautiful things about this chart when you know how to read it. The number 1 is the first top mark, 2 is the second top mark, 3 is the bottom mark, 4 is the second top mark, and 5th is when they're going to race downwind, and then we have F as the finish line. And see how Devil's Lair was losing in the start. And he had the best start, but coming up to the first top mark, he was going all the way to 4th position, but still ending up 2nd. It's amazing.
So Devil's Lair was first off the line, but he probably had the wrong side of the course.
Yeah, he chose to go to the right side, while the rest of them were going to the left. We discussed it why he did it, but it was not the best decision to do in this case.
That's it.
So,
and that's the beautiful thing of this game, it's a little bit of a jackpot, a little bit of a lottery sometimes, but these good guys that like a Sear and that, somehow they seem to be able to read, and as a good sailor does out there in the water too, the likely changes.
Yeah, Steve, we have right now a point where there's no servers getting ready to start. There's only 4 seconds to this server can start. We want the start because 50% of the race is the start. 50% of the race is how you're doing your strategy and tactics in the race. So let's go to a small commercial break, and then we'll be back. And this commercial break is all about, for the new viewers, I know a lot of you are not new viewers, how these players are getting the score. Why does riding 138 by Happy Days and not why there's 15. It's not because it's number of races, it's because when you did your best series score. So please stay tuned, we will be back. Hi and welcome to eSailing TV. Today we're going to explain something about the scoreboard. A lot of you players have asked us about it. Players around the world are fighting in the spring playoff. Right now we can see the scores are here. Races, they've been doing average score, best series score, but what does everything mean? We'll try to explain how you will get to the top, how you will get your points, and how to do it when you want to race. After this we'll just go over here. Now you can see this is what we're doing. We're going to an 18 hours channels. What you can see is you minimum have to 5 races. This is the red area. You have 12 hours to do it. But what does it mean? What does it mean to the score? This means you get a best series score, or a score that's 5 races scored together divided with 5. That's giving you the result. When we are getting into the race, we have to watch how it goes in the scoreboard. Here we can see Cruisulator. He has 100 points out of 5 races in his series races. But what does this number mean? Does it mean he has been racing 5 times? No, it means that he got this score after 5 races. Example, here we have AC American Magic. He had the best series score, ended at race 11. So, how to get the points. When you're winning a race, you get 100 points. Second place is 69, and so on and so on. And these points will calculate into this. Watching Cruisulator's result, he got 5 first places. Out of the 5 first places, he got 5 times 100 points. That's a score of 500 divided with 5. That's giving him a score of 100 points. But if you got a first, second, third, first and first, then we get 100, 69, 51, 100 points. That's giving a score of 420 divided with 5, 84 points. This is the way points are calculated. I hope you learned a little bit about it. Stay tuned and watch us for further information. welcome back in studio. Today with me I have Steve_NZ77. He's sitting in Sydney, Australia. I'm sitting home in Denmark in a small city called Sønderborg, 30 kilometers away from the border to Germany. And you're watching eSailing TV. And Steve, a new server is forming. So what we're going to see in this race, it's the summer playoff. We know some of the players. It's top players fighting for getting all the way to the playoff in September and fighting for positions for World Cup Championship 2019 in Bermuda.
Yeah, well, a lot of these players recognise that they're probably racing people that they're also going to be racing within the final, or to try to get into them. So there's a lot in it. You sort of try to also get to know how you can beat these other guys, or where you are, how you are compared to these guys, and get a feel for how you're going. Because this is a wonderful opportunity for 8 people to go to Bermuda to go in the finals. I mean, this is amazing. A trip all paid for to go to Bermuda to race.
I went to Florida last year and doing the production there. Fantastic to be in Florida. Nice hotel, nice beaches, going on dolphin safari and everything. And also the players had fun. They all went out sailing and everything and met some of the top sailors in the world.
I think Virtual Regatta have really done a lot of wonderful stuff with this game. I've been playing it since about June last year, so just over a year now I've played it, and I've seen the development. Where are we up to? 48 seconds. Yeah, the development has been really fast and really quite amazing how much they've developed this game. I think they've got big plans to really keep in developing this game in some wonderful ways. But here we go. What have we got?
We have Max Menil from France. We have Equilibrium from Italy. We have Grani from France. We have William Kidd from Italy. Pellicoach from New Zealand with the pirate flag. We have Lampihues from Germany. And we have Wins with us from France. 12 seconds to start. We'll go to the start bow and see.
I'd be keeping an eye on Equilibrium and Max Misnil and also Pellicoach. All 3 of these are excellent sailors. Oh, I think Max Misnil. I wish they'd have easier names, Tom.
Yeah,
think about the commentators.
I've been saying, choose a name we can say, please, in eSailing TV, but they're not doing. But you can go up and change it. But let's see, Max with a penalty in the start. Wins also got a penalty in start. We can see Wins. He is where he is in the middle now and trying to get in. And just to say, Steve, this is a chopper view. I don't know, can you see it well on your screen? We can see how the fleet is splitting up, and now they're all going to the right side.
Yeah, this is a good view, Thomas, a good view, because looking at the fleet and looking at the wind socks up in the top left-hand corner, so for people who are trying to work out, if they're new to this game, they're trying to work out how they should be doing it. Right now, you'd want to be positioned on the left-hand side, but not too far left, because if you see at the windsock on the far left, it's pointing a little bit, not as directly, from left to right. So more like this like the green boat there, or the black boat there, or this one, Pellicoach. Those 3 there are in probably the most ideal position at this stage. So yeah, these 3 boats, the Lampus is a little bit too far left, but the other 3 boats, because the windsock is aiming left to right down the centre there, and nice strong wind. So as they get close, probably the boat that's the second from the left, is that Equilibrium? Who's the next one over that one?
This is Winds and this is Equilibrium. We can see they're all crossing now. We are zooming down and see the crosses. We can see they're crossing, attacking each other, and see how close they are. They're fighting for their position for getting into the mark. You see the wind shadows.
That centre windsock, Thomas, has moved over from the back to the right to the left. So these boats now that we're out on the right-hand side, it suddenly favours them. Yeah, so where we've got Winds 98, Equilibrium, and William Kidd. Well, actually, it's all pretty tight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tight race, this one. And see how Equilibrium is pushing out Wings, and now Wings getting a penalty for taking a chance to sail into him. Yeah. But Wings 98 got a penalty in the start, so it's amazing to see him in second position now. And now Equilibrium also got a penalty.
Yeah, he hit the boy. Hit the boy, I think. He's really, now those 2 are really battling it out. Might pay to have a look at those 2 because there's something going on. Equilibrium.
He's moving away now.
Yeah. You'd have to be a little bit careful in this racing not to let your emotions take control, because you can start to, it just becomes, like you get angry and you're just wanting to attack somebody, and then you find that you're now at the back of the field. So it does pay to just try and stay a little calm sometimes instead of letting
we
the
just
anger come
saw
out.
Wins 9-8 doing that. Did another penalties on Girani for getting angry on him, and then William got a penalty where William the Kid was hitting the mark coming around. So right now they're all equal again, because all got a penalty in this race, except Pellicoach, who's coming from behind and now third.
It'll be interesting at the end to look at that chart to see who had the most penalties in this race.
Yeah.
Be a few.
I think Wins is in the lead now.
Max Mesnel's done pretty well to come back from had the penalty at the beginning.
Yeah, and the false start. Yeah.
And now he's equilibrium though, but he'll always be close. Oh, yeah.
We will just go to the mark, see how they're coming in here. Again, a new penalty given, Equilibrium using the rules and giving a penalty to Max. And now he's out of the race, going downwind. See how he's slowing down. And Wind's getting his third penalty. He's collecting them at the moment. So Pellicoach in the second, and this is going to be a fight downwind. Who will take it?
I think Equilibrium, because he's a master at well, not only giving penalties, but being able to, keep out of the wind shed. Once he gets in front, it's pretty hard to get past him.
See, here we have a fight. Pellicoach has to
You've
tackle
seen Alessandro many times racing. He was there with Florida, and he's such a good racer. And he's been practicing on the iPad, because these races are supposed to be raced on either an iPad or a phone.
I don't know why. I don't know why. There's no difference if you're playing on computer, iPad, or phone. I think it's more a principle.
They may change the rule, I don't know, but as it stands at the moment, is the racing supposed to be either on an iPad or a phone. So look at it. Did you see the way Equilibrium there? He just moved over. He's just sitting in front. The wind shadow can't sit you when you're sitting directly in front like. He just knows how to avoid it. But he's been practicing on an iPad, and so his game's really improved from how he started. He was originally using a computer, and he was a top player on the computer. He thought, okay, I better get prepared, start using the iPad, and it's been quite amazing. When he first started, suddenly I thought, how come he's not doing so well anymore? But then I found out, he'd been using the iPad, and it is quite a shift to go from a computer to iPad.
It is, because then you have to use your fingers, you have to feel the game, and you have to move it. It's the same thing when we're watching into a player like HRSC Bundesliga team. He's playing on his iPhone, and he's a huge guy. He's taller than me. He's 2 meters and 5, and he has this small iPhone where he's really looking into it here and playing, and still he's number 3 in the world.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know how they can do it. And I mean, we know KZ7 also a great sailor, and he phone, When he turned up to race in Florida, the guys couldn't believe it, that he's sitting at the table. They're all on their computers and iPads, and he's got his telephone.
Yeah, but the fantastic part with it was Matt. He was sitting on the toilet and practiced because his wife just had birth to their child. So he was going out there to have a break, sitting there an hour at a time. So she was a little bit angry on him. But in this race, a win for Italy, a second for Germany. Friends boats in 3rd and 4th, then Pellicoach in 5th, William the Kid in 6th, and Gianni in 7. And let's see who got the most penalties. Wins 9-8. And this is quite cool. He had a penalty in the start, fighting his way up to 3rd position, going upwind, get a penalty downwind, and fighting his way up to 2nd position, and then he got his 3rd penalty by Equilibrium. Yeah, he gave him the 3rd penalty, and then he disconnected.
So I can't quite see it, because on the screen, how many penalties was it? Because I was
3.
getting
Only 3. Only 3. But see this chart here. We can really see how many penalties that was given in this race. They're switching position all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at those lines. Look at the shifting. That was a pretty wild. I mean, you and I, we've seen races where the lead at the first and second, they pretty much start off there and finish there. This race had so many changes.
Yeah, and also the winner started as number 6 in the start and came as winner. And see how he fought his way up at the first top mark, coming in front, then fall down to the 4th place when they were going to the gate mark in the bottom, and then coming up to the top mark again, going for the win.
Actually, Thomas, what's funny is William Kidd and Equilibrium swap places.
Yeah.
William Kidd was first off the line and Equilibrium was 6th. And Equilibrium came in first and William Kidd came in 6th. So, yeah, interesting.
That's what happened. Steve, we are going to take the last race in this summer playoff. It's fantastic to see that players are still active and doing a lot of practice. We can see 690 players out of the 1,000 players has used their place to play the game. And when we're done here, we will go in and take some Formula 18 race. It's a much faster bird and it's going quite fast in these races. But I can see we're waiting for a new server. It's 2 out of 7. So please stay tuned. We'll come back after a small commercial break. Hi. Thank you for watching eSailing TV. You can follow us on different social medias online. Go to twitch.tv/eSailingTV and follow us, or just go to Twitch, write eSailing TV in the search area. Then you come to our channel. Here you can scroll down, see the rest of the social medias we are on. YouTube, Facebook, homepage. Please subscribe. Get direct notifications when we are online. You can also go on the videos. If you didn't watch the last live show, you go here and see it. You can also see some of the clips we are doing, or clips some of the other viewers have been doing. Are you more the Facebook type? Then please go to Facebook, write eSailing TV. Then you will get to our Facebook page. When you're in the Facebook page, you can see the live shows. We're doing live shows on 2 channels, Twitch and Facebook. But when you're scrolling down, you will also see clips, small clips, learning videos of what we're doing. Here we're attacking people. Here we're attacking sports federations. So a lot of people will know that we are live. Please share, please like, please follow us. We're also on YouTube. Go to YouTube, write eSailing TV. If you're going on eSailing TV, you can see a lot of videos. Right now, more than 100 videos are online. Here you can go back in time, see some of the races, or see some of the really good duels we have. You can also see a learning video. We're placing everything up there, but we're not sending live on YouTube. I just have to say thank you for following eSailing TV. Please subscribe. Please like, please share what we're doing. Together, we're growing eSailing TV and eSailing in total. Thank you for watching. And welcome back in studio. Please go in and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, also Twitter. All of them are under the name eSailing TV. You can also tag us, share what we're doing, so a lot of people can see yourself sail or see the fantastic part of eSailing. We are waiting up for a new server right now, Steve, and I can see it's 3 out of 7. It just went up to 6 out of 7, then 3 persons disconnected. So this is going to be the last race in the summer playoff of today. And then we're going into the new boat class, a new race. This Formula 18. And what's the difference from the day boat and the Formula 18?
Well, speed for one thing, handability. You know, it definitely harder to handle. They're catamarans. They can foil and much faster. They're bigger boats, and yeah, and also the course is different. So we will be racing on a different type of course. The course is rather than the one we've got now, which is a straight up-down course. The other ones, see, the one we're racing on now is a little bit like a pyramid, isn't it? You know, we've got the starting line, and
we can see it here. It's the classic 2 race format: upwind, downwind, upwind, downwind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's completely different shape. So you could say that if you think about the conventional course, it's like a pyramid. You're at the starting line, you go up, and you come back halfway down, you go back up, but you come back to the starting line. But this, what's really interesting, and we'll see it in the Formula 18, is you've got to start where you're going straight on sideways to the wind. So you're not going into the wind and you're not going with the wind behind you. You've got this straight across the wind, and it's the fastest, of course, on the boat. You get the highest speeds there. So the start is a very interesting. We'll see that when we go over to those races shortly.
Yeah.
How many have you got up there, Thomas?
I can see 7 out of 7. So we're getting ready for the last race of today in the summer playoffs, and then we are going over to the Formula 18. And Steve, the day boat racer. We have seen it tactic. We can see also how they are switching position. These really good players around the world, they are really sailing in a high level. So let's get ready for the last race. It's almost there. Let's have some intro music for it this time. No, we don't get any intro music. It just started the server, so let's jump into it and straight away instead of... And here it is. I really love the technique. Sometimes I'm pressing the wrong buttons, but that happens sometimes when you're doing live TV. Presentation, we have from Poland, the Polish boat. We have Lady Phyllis May from Great Britain. We have San Chico from Brazil. We have Campanche, we've been seeing a lot of time, from Argentina. And we have the German boat, a German boat with us, 7471. And Steve, are you there?
Yeah, raced a few of these guys before, and definitely Lady Phyllis May. Boats, they're all good sailors. So Campancha, seen a lot of Campancha.
He's very much online. And 4 seconds to start. They're getting in position. The red boat is coming with speed from behind. It's San Chico, but it's not good enough. And where's Campancha?
Well, he was on the right-hand side, I think, of the...
No, he's out there. He's not started yet. I think he's lost connection early. Back in Argentina. So he's sailing out there.
I think he's gone early, but he doesn't realise it.
No. He's out of the race. He hasn't started.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Okay.
He's gone.
Yeah,
but we can see the fleet is splitting up. San Chico going to the right. The rest of the boats going to the left. Why are we splitting up? Why do you think, Steve?
Well, because they're expecting a wind shift. The guy that's gone down to the right-hand side there, San Chico, has figured that he wanted to go down to the right, and he's figuring the wind's going to come back from left to right, and he'll get an advantage. Whereas the boats out here, they tried following the... Can you go on the two-dimensional mode view, and we'll have a look at the windsock. So if you can look down here, so you're looking at that windsock, you can see that windsock shows that it's coming from the right to the left. They've been hoping for the shift, but it hasn't come. So it'll be interesting to see if San Chico will catch at this spot now, because you see with the windsock the way it is now, they're going into the wind a little bit, but the San Chico tried going that way, coming back, but it hasn't worked out the most efficient. The boat that's best position is that one in the front top left. Who's that top left there? Is that
that's the Polish boat?
Yeah,
see how much Lady Phyllis, how much the penalty cost, going from being the first boat, the boat in front, to coming all the way behind. It's 9 meters it's cost. So.
And the salt in the wound is he's now sitting in the wind shadow hole. So you get the penalty, and then you're behind, and then you've got the wind shadow. So it's exasperated.
And here we can see...
All right, this is always an interesting part of the race. Who have we got? Pole's going to come through here nicely. There was a bit of a tricky move there by the... I guess it was... Is it Gers?
Yeah, the German boat getting a penalty for hitting the mark. Tried to do some tricks, but it didn't succeed. So now he is on last position. But in front, it's quite exciting. We saw that San Chico was 50 meters behind because he was choosing going to the right side instead of the left side. And when we were coming to the top mark, he got so much speed in the wind that now he's in second. That's cool.
And he's in a good position to attack, right? So he's going to try and... So you'll be thinking now, he's behind. He can't really overtake on this spot, especially if they both take the same mark. And this is a point where people really have to decide which mark you can make up. If you choose the wrong mark or choose the right mark, you can either lose or gain a lot of place on the other boat. I would have actually chosen the other mark, because this mark, if he had gone around the other mark, he could have come across as he is now. And the wind, you can see the wind's coming more from right to left, and it's stronger up on the right-hand side. So he really, if he had chosen the right-hand mark, and then, because it's always, we talk about the marks looking up the court, if he had chosen that right-hand court mark, he could have gone up with a bit of a stronger wind, come across, and maybe had either passed or been a little bit closer. But at this point of the race, Thomas, what you're really trying to do is keep out of that wind shadow and stay close enough to the other boat so that, as you've said before, if you're closer than about, say 25 meters, you get a good chance to really attack with your wind shadow. So here the trick is to stay close and be in a position to attack on the downwind. So let's see what happens between our pole 431 and San Chico 3.
Yeah, but we have the German boat is back in race now. The German boat is coming closer and closer to the third position, fighting his way back. But Lady Phyllis is keeping position here. One thing I experience is when we're sailing upwind and going outside of the lay mark, especially on the left side, close to the mark, then we can experience to get more wind speed in it. Why?
What did you say again?
When we're going on the outside of the lay mark, then sometimes we experience getting more wind speed into the wind.
Well, if we're saying outside the lay mark, well, if there's more wind, there's a better angle. And also, when you are coming in with that angle, your angle is a stronger angle, so you can get the more power into your sail, so you can actually sail faster. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look here. What are they? 11 meters. It's going to be a bit of a bad. What can be also hard is if you're coming in second place and the guy behind you in third place, like what's happening here between Lady Phyllis, who really wants to fight for first, but meanwhile, Jer 7471 wants to fight for second. So these two are going to fight it out. Now our San Chico is really, well, he's going to come across. And
a penalty to the German boat in the last sec. So right now it's Lady Phyllis fighting for second against San Chico. Polish boat winning. San Chico attacking in, getting second. Lady Phyllis third, and the German boat fourth.
Very close, very close.
But it's
when you're playing races like that, and it's so close. It's amazing how rate goes up and the hands start to sweat. They say the computer games aren't good for you. It's not like exercise, but there is a certain level of exercise happening when you're playing these games.
That's why I'm so healthy and well trained. It's because of my computer gaming. And as you see, I'm almost sweating. I don't think it's the lights in the studio. I think more it's because of the really high intensity races we're seeing today. Now, a fun joke here. What we saw here, let's speak about a little bit about penalties before watching the final scores. When we're getting a penalty upwind, we saw it cost Lady Phyllis around 9 meters. When we saw the penalty to the German boat downwind, and also normally when we see it, we can see it cost up to 20 meters. Why is there such a huge difference, Steve, in the penalty?
It's the speed, isn't it? The boats are going so much faster. If you're doing... if you were walking along the road and you got a penalty and you had to walk half pace for 12 seconds, the person in front of you is only going to be a little bit in front. But, if you were going in a car 100 kilometers an hour and you had to slow down to half pace, the other car suddenly way in front of you. It's the faster the boats, the more the penalty makes a difference. But actually, the other good thing about, or thing about getting a penalty down, if you get a penalty, if you're able to keep the wind shadow on the boat in front of you, it also holds them up a little bit. So you can sort of alleviate a little bit of the penalty if you can keep a wind shadow on the boat that's given you the penalty.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to the Formula 18, is it, Thomas? Is that the plan?
First watch the standings at the moment. The first top 50. Sailing Shark still in front. Equilibrium in second. Lucas Moore from Denmark in third. Azir in fourth. The Turkish boat in fifth. Adventures in sixth. Laser. And then you, Steve, Happy Days in eighth. Roxy Joni in 9th. To Do and Lutu, he's a good sailor, in 10th. GP in 11th. Sylvia we saw in 12th. Quarry in 13th. Boat for Sale 14. And Bong lead. That's fantastic. Well, let's call him Bong in 15. A Japanese boat, and then we can see the standings down here. Devil's Lair in 21. And if we're going in, the most interesting part is how many points do you need to get in top 200 at the moment. You only need to get 36.7 points.
But these guys haven't done the 12 races. See, he's only done Thunder's only race.
So it's 36.8 at the moment. You need to get into the top 200. So if you want to qualify to the playoff in September, right now you need to do 36.8 in the score. But if you really want to be sure of it, make sure you hit around 60. Then you can go in. I saw this Mexican sailor at this 192 position, this Sakuro Sailing Club, who is on 37.9. He's only been doing 8 races. Whoa, he raced very well last night. We saw him, fantastic race by him. But Steve,
is that Mexican? Was that a Mexican flag?
That was a Mexican flag.
Interesting.
I know it because I just went into Tall Ship Race in Aarhus, where we have eSailing up there as an exhibition, and then the largest ship coming in there was a Mexican ship with all the workers on the ship standing in the mast, standing up there and singing when they're coming into port. It was such a fun experience, and a huge Mexican flag behind them. We're going into the Formula 18 now. I promised to write this online sailing club and everybody that we're going into the Formula 18 now. When we're going to race this one, Steve, can you please tell us why I'm writing everybody that we're going into the next thing? What to do in this boat? What to do when you're racing it? And also we can see the court here. It's a whole other race than we've been seeing. So Steve, we minimum have to do 8 races in this channel, and we're doing a Formula 18. It's a fast boat, but what to do?
Well, the start, as you can see here, you go straight across that first mark, and then you turn downwind. And now, what you're really looking at the start is you have to work out which direction the wind socks are going, or which way the wind's likely to be going, because you're either going to choose the on the right hand marker or the left hand marker, and that's going to make a huge difference to your positioning on the course, whether you're going to be first or last, somewhere in between. But you can win the race by choosing that right marker at the very beginnings.
Yeah. I've been watching a Sail GP, the tournament there. This real sailing. It's the Formula 50, I think it's called. It's a similar boat. It looks the same, catamaran. They're flying on water. The most impressive of seeing this race on YouTube is we can see how fast they're getting up in speed, hitting around, it was 35.8 knots, sometimes more. But when they're coming to the marks and turn the boats, suddenly they lose wind, they lose everything, and they're down in 4 to 5 knots and waiting for turning the boat to get into the mark or the finish line.
Yeah, those guys, I mean, they've been racing in some tough conditions, though, where the wind, that if they've got strong wind and it's maintaining the strong wind, they're actually able to stay up on the foils, even on the turn. But if they get off the foils, the boat, the amount of drag that's suddenly, on the boat through the water slows them way, way, way down. I mean, the reason these boats go so fast is they're up on foil. And when you're up on a foil, you've basically just got this little bit going through the water with hardly any drag. So, the amount of, when you've got that power and that much little amount of drag, the boats can just go so fast. Yeah, so these Formula 18, they're very fast. The part at the beginning is called the reach, and the reach means that we're just going to go straight across almost with the wind directly on the side of the boat, which means, now there's a little bit of strategy. What have we got? 15 seconds here. You'll see some people will have this big sail, which is called the genoa, have this big sail up, and others won't. And if you don't have your genoa up, you can get a bit of a better angle. And let's see if some people here see. There's a black boat here without Genoa getting over the line. You see, it was too early. There's one guy. I think most of these guys have got their Genoas up. But
I'm going up in top of you. It's going so fast. Yeah, but they're starting with the Genova up and getting the wind from behind this race. So they're coming with speed from behind. See, 20.34 knots. And then they're going to this gate mark where they have to turn and going upwind.
Now they're choosing their gate. You know, which side are they going to choose? And this is going to be most favoured of that right hand up. So it's the ones that, yes, this one here where that black boat's going, that's the most favoured side in this instance at the moment.
And here we see penalties for hitting Mark, for hitting each other. It's like they're clustering up, they're sailing into each other, breaking the boats in real life. But it didn't happen here.
The reason that right-hand side's most favoured at the moment, you see the way the windsocks are pointed right to the left?
Yeah.
If you're on the right-hand side of the course, going up the course, your angle is much better. You know, the boat can only, it has an optimum angle to the wind. So if that wind is going from right to left, you can imagine your angle is going to be better than if you're coming from the left towards the right, you're going more into the wind, right?
But let's see, Mark from Russia has 12.5 in speed. Cosmic have 12.9. So there's a little bit more wind in the left side, but they're having a good race over here.
Yeah.
We will see it from top view. It looks so great when they're
upwind. Actually, with upwind, the angle is more important, but with downwind, it's the wind speed that's more important. So with downwind, you're really looking for the stronger wind. Upwind, you're really trying to get the best angles. Even if the wind's a little bit lighter, if you've got a better angle, that's more favourable.
And what we're going to see now, if they're choosing coming into this gate mark and going upwind, the boat will slow down and they can't sail. Here they're clustering up. See, it's a penalty here to Stefanos. And Mark Russia going downwind, spinning her up. And see here, Mimi. It's a good example. It looks like the real sail GP when they're going upwind and can't catch the wind. It's just breaking down. So
yeah.
And we can see they're racing.
It's a bit of chaos. You can see how fast they are, though. It's J70, and then you go and jump on one of these boats. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It just feels a bit chaotic.
A little bit chaotic. That's not the only thing here. We can see a race only takes around 3 minutes. We're just seeing it from behind here. We're going to have a win for Mark from Russia. We're going first loser, going to take second. Here's the difference. The one has the big sail up and the other don't have. 18.2, 19.2. Dolman in third. Minin, who broke up at the gate mark now in fourth. And then we have Stefanos in fifth. Rest of them coming in here.
So you see the boat that was, it changed, but I think the boat that was second was first loser. It did show, or we can see, first loser. So I spoke to the guy who's got the name first loser, Australian guy, and I said, why have you got the first loser? Because it seemed a bit funny name, right? Well, he said he was getting second too many times. He kept getting second. So if you're second all the time, you're the first loser. I mean, I guess second loser. First loser means, there's the winner and then there's the first loser.
And he's the second position, and he takes a lot of second positions. That's why his name is there.
He's first loser again.
Yeah, again, best start, best average speed for him. But Mark, he sailed the shortest distance. It's not always the person in this boat class sailing the shortest distance that's winning. It's normally that in the J17 or the day boat, it's the person sailing the short distance that will be in top. Here it's all about speed, and speed. So let's go into a new race. It's going fast, Steve. When we're speaking together in this slow pace, we can almost not follow in the race. It's going so fast here. I know a lot of players has come online. We can see when we're going into the server here. They got news. See how many servers there are. They got news that eSailing TV is in there.
Yeah.
So let's take this 9 out of 9 server and see who's with us this time.
It's very popular. The Formula 18, people love it. I think they love this. A lot of young people really love the catamarans. It's, as we know, like the America's Cup racing, that with catamarans, and now the next racing is going to be monohulls raced in New Zealand. Super fast.
Yeah. We have Cool Running with us, one of the guys from the online sailing club. He's going into this race. Let's just make a small presentation this time. We have Davno from Italy, Svenjek from Switzerland, Mark Russia from Russia. We have Stefanos from Russia, Cosmic from... Is this New Zealand, isn't it? Or is it Australia?
Australia. That's Australian because it's got the extra star. See the...
Yeah, the star is Australia. Hexi from Italy. We have a boat with us from Britain. Then we have Cool Running. He's New Zealander.
And it's New Zealand. It's just got 4 stars. You can see there's the Aussies. I think they actually might have 7 total on the Australian flag, but the New Zealand flag just has 4. So we've got Kiwis and Aussies and well, lots of people from all around the world. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. I mean, the start's pretty paramount. If you can get a good start and you don't want to get a penalty.
Yeah, we can see it. Let's try to follow the middle court here. We can see Hexi
done well. 07 is the Cool Running Kiwi guy. Yeah, he's a good racer.
And there's a penalty. No, there's no penalty. It looks like a penalty. Let's see it from top of view from behind. Here we can see they're splitting up here. It's all about getting an angle when you're going into this gate mark. See here, Cool Running.
Now, probably the mark looking down, it's the right-hand side, but it's actually the left-hand mark. But where the black boat's going, it's probably going to be the best mark. If he takes the one down here at the moment, this would be the best marker. So I think Cool Running's chosen the right side. I mean, things can change, but at the moment, it should work out well for him because you can see those the windsocks up in the top left-hand corner are slightly from left to right. So because of that, he should have, he should have a bit of an advantage if they stay, and it's even moving more left to right. So that more chance of an advantage.
But today there's a lot more wind in the game. Sometimes when they're racing upwind in this race, we only see them come with 6 to 8 knots. But today, 12 and 13. It's quite cool.
There he is, Cool Running. He's trying to go out to the left now to make sure he keeps in with this good angle of the wind angle. You just want to keep and then tack in front of the other boats, put wind shadow on them, and it's almost like herding sometimes the other boats. If you can get in front, like here, if you keep it on here, if he tacks in front of the white boat, you should tack. Oh, you tack.
Oh, he got a penalty because the other boat was too close to him.
So. Too slow. And he probably should have tacked a bit sooner because the wind behind him would have affected Cosmic. Even if he didn't sit right in front, if he had just tacked a little bit earlier, the wind that was behind him would have pulled Cosmic in and he would have had to tack away anyway. But it can be like that. You're trying to really, it's almost like if you can get in front, you can just keep herding the other boats. You move left, you move right, and so that you can, because sometimes you have boats, on one tack and boats on the other tack. And once you get that lead, you really want to just keep trying to herd the pack back into a position where you ought.
Yeah. But what we see here, Steve, we just have small disconnection. You'll be back in 2 seconds. It's the boat from Switzerland in front, coming around the middle mark and going to the finish line. They keep up the big sail, except Mark Rush, he's taking it down. So let's see what's the difference in speed is. 18, 19, 20, 22. Oh, he's coming with speed. Oh, getting a penalty. So he didn't get a win. Wow. So Svenjek first, Cosmic second, Mark Rush third, and then Cool Running coming in fourth now.
I think Svenjek wasn't really going the optimum line because he was going quite slow. Cosmic was going a faster angle, but it made him run into the back of Svenjek. Maybe Svenjek was just trying to cover. But the thing is that when those big sails are up, those genoas are up, then you don't get such a good angle because if the sail starts taking it. If the sail starts to flap a bit, it slows the boat down. So this is where a bit of the experience comes in. The guys know what angle of the boat is the best and most efficient to either have the big sail up or the big sail down. And on that, especially on that reach, if you're coming across, if the wind's behind you a little bit, then it's best to have that sail up. But if you've got a little bit of a headwind, if it's slightly coming into you a little bit, it's best to have that big sail down. So you sort of, as you're reaching the mark where you're about to turn for the end, you really need to have a look to see which way is the direction. Is it slightly behind me or is it slightly into me? If it's behind me, I can leave my big sail up. If it's into me, I really need to drop that sail.
Cool. We'll go into a new server now. We'll just see which one is online. It's going quite fast. It's quite hard to commentate these fast races. We have 3 minutes to do it. A new 9-9 server is going to start in Tuesday. Steve, I will try to commentate it, and if you can please help me out saying why they're doing things there. Let's see if we can have a whole race here. 3 minutes is quite fast for eSailing. Normally we use 5 to 11 minutes for each race. But just to say, this Formula 18, isn't it just like the NACRA? A little bit like the NACRA.
A little bit like NACRA, but it actually is a little bit easier to handle. The boats, the NACRAs are very twitchy. These are definitely easier to handle, and they're a bigger boat. It's funny, they just feel different. It's amazing the way that Virtual Regatta have been able to create these different feels to the different boats. So even with 2 different catamarans, they've got different feels. They handle in different conditions and different speeds.
We would just do a small presentation. Cool running, Mark Ross from Russia, a boat and a boat. Both of them, when they're calling boats, they are guests maybe most of the time. An Italian boat, Sizuka, a TPE from Olympic Sail, Simpatone from Spain, Gucci and Whitford. 5 seconds. Who will come with speed from behind? Oh, the yellow boat tries to start at the starting line. That's not a good decision, this boat. You need to have speed in it. And Mark Ross, we saw him in last race where he was coming in 3rd, and in the first race going into win, and now he's coming around the middle mark first, going downwind. Gucci, and they're closing up a penalty to Cool Running in the middle. And why are they going all to the right side, Steve, at the moment?
Yeah, because look at the mark, see the way the wind's pointing from left to right. They want to pick looking where they're heading now, it's the right hand side, so they should be picking. Looking up, it's on the left-hand side, so he shouldn't take, I don't think he should take that mark. I think this other mark with this yellow boat's going is going to be better. So that'll be interesting, but he's taken a very wide rounding.
And also getting a penalty, and now upwind, and everything is wrong for Simpatone.
Okay, so looking at this, I think Kluka, if he should have stayed further out. He should have carried on up a bit further to the left to make the most of that. Okay, so now this black boat, he's managed to get himself to the most left-hand side of the course coming up. So Mark Russ, he's further back down there, over to the left-hand side or further into. See the way Mark Russ is going. There's another black boat out there. He's going to cross in front.
Mark Russ here is in front. Cool Running is the other black boat. He's in 4th.
Cool
Mark Russ is crossing his boat to the opposite side. Try to get another angle into when they're coming to the mark. Is it because he can get the priority when they're getting to the mark? Because he will get the win on the right side.
But see, Thomas, he's looking at those windsocks and he's seeing that left-hand side of the course. Once he gets onto that left-hand side, he's going to have a faster line up there. He's got also nice strong. So he'll be able. These other boats have got priority. The boat's coming across now towards him, but he'll get in front of them because he's got a better wind. So he knows he can cross in front of them because even though they might have the same wind strength, he's got the better wind angle, and so he, that's why he really wanted to get out to that left-hand side of the course and then come.
Yeah, and he's taking the opposite mark than the other boats. And what do you call the big sails in this boat? Normally you say the spinnaker is up, but here we.
I'm like you. I'm not a real sailor, but somebody pointed out to me the other. They used to be called spinnakers, but those spinnakers were a different type of sail on older boats. These type of boats and most modern boats, they have something called a genoa, and the genoa handles wind more side on, so the wind can come more from the side. The spinnakers used to go out the front of the boat. If you remember, there'd be those great big sails, and they'd be more in front of the boat, pulling the boat along. But these days, with the new technology, with genoas, the boats sail more side on to the wind and go for extra speed. So they might sometimes sail, like especially catamarans, they sail a longer distance. The angle to the pin or the angle to the mark is not as good as it is with the J70. The J70 is much more direct towards the mark, but the speed is much slower. These catamarans, they go much more side on, backwards and forwards up the track. but they're going twice the speed. So even if you had to go 50% of the distance, if you're doing twice the speed, you're still going to be there faster. So that's the difference with these. So these are called Genoa, these big sails.
We saw a win for Cool Running coming in the last around the last middle mark, going for a win over Mark Russia, who's got the second, Gucci in third. It looks like Gucci was taking the win, but when he was coming to the middle mark, he got a too big a turn where the other just cut over the turn and got the win. Steve, we're going to do one more last race now. We have been online for 1.5 hours now. It's amazing how time flies when we are streaming together. We are doing one more race here in the Formula 18. It's starting now. We can see here a lot of boats with us, and we have a lot of new players with us today. I can see there's a lot of boats we're calling them. They are players that are not registered as a user. They are playing as a guest. It's fantastic to see. So, but sometimes we also see, how I can say, some fundraising where we cannot predict what's happening. Let's just take some countries. We love the countries.
We got a stolen pig. There's a stolen pig.
Yeah, and then we have Italy, we have Russia, we have Japan, then we have Hubble from Austria, we have a French boat, another French boat, and the stolen pig. Is this your competition as a pirate dog? A pirate pig, maybe?
Well, I don't know about the stolen pig. I've never seen the stolen before. But, there we go.
Stolen pig coming from behind. And a false start to the yellow Hubble. We can see the difference here. All the players who know the game has this huge sails up, where the rest of them are sailing without. But still, this Japanese boat coming with speed, and first now he's taking it up. Interesting.
Well, that's the point. You see, he started more from the left-hand side, so he had distance. The other boats with the Genoa, and I'd like to ask, actually, let's put it out there, Thomas, if there's any of these great sailors they want to send in line, tell us the difference between a Genoa and a Jenica, because I also know there's another sail called a Jenica. There may or may not be a difference, might be just a different name. I know that we've got some experts out there. If they could answer to online to your page, what's the difference between a Genoa and a Jenica? Maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, cool. We have Stolen Pig in second, and we still have the Japanese boat in front. Stolen Pig is choosing to go through the middle. That might not be the best decision to do, but let's see what happens. We're going 2D. We can see the fleet here, how they're splitting up a little bit. We can see two boats lost their speed down in the middle at the gate mark zone. Right now, it's only 6 boats that's back in the race and can do something about it.
Yeah, look at that wind. The wind's nice and strong out that right-hand side, and by going up the side now, they've got to run because of that wind angle from right to left with the wind socks. So from there, anyone else coming up the field, if anyone had gone out to the left to start with, and then they were coming, they're not going to be able to get in front because they'll be going really more with a less favourable wind. But even as I say that, we can see it shifting a little bit. That far left-hand side starting to shift. Judging the wind, and as I said before, judging the wind in this game, it's a really big part of the game. If you can start learning to read the wind, which wind shift's likely to happen. Actually, when you see the wind shift in the wind socks, it doesn't happen immediately because that's happening up the end of the course. So if you're halfway up the course and you see the wind sock shift, you know what's going to happen. It may be about 30 seconds or a minute's time, so you can actually make your move to make the most of the change that you know is coming, especially on the catamarans because it's a much bigger course, and so when the windsock moves at the end of the course, you've actually got quite a bit of time to get into a better position and make the most of the wind chain.
We have the Japanese boat in front still.
He's done well. Yeah.
And Stolen Pig fighting for his second. No, hitting the mark. No, yeah, losing control of the boat. Hitting the mark, but the other boat's also doing it. But it is going to be the boat 7-6 coming with speed. No, what he's doing? He's turning away. Oh, come back. Hit the mark here.
No, he's past the line. He's over.
Yeah, but the other boat here, the second boat, almost lost his second position. He is losing the second position. Yeah. And Stolen Pig getting in third or fourth. I think he's getting in fourth. No, third to the Stolen Pig. second to
You
the
know what?
Italian boat, and the Japanese boat with a win.
I've got a feeling that that boat at the end there that was on a really strange course, he should have got second, but I think he came in. I think what happens is, on these boats we've got a thing called Best VMG. And Best VMG is on the computer. When you hit the B button on the computer, Best VMG means that the computer will automatically put you on the best angle for the wind direction towards the line where you need to be going. But when you are going towards the finish line on the reach, Best VMG doesn't work because Best VMG is more to do with up and down the course, So I think if he pressed Best VMG, it suddenly would have taken him away from the direction he wanted to be going. I think that was his problem.
I also experienced that at the second top mark when you're sailing the other boats, the other courts. This classic two race format. When you're at the second mark and want to go down with the spinnaker, if you press the Best VMG too early, the boat goes the opposite way.
Yes.
And then suddenly you're out of the race.
This is part of learning, we all go through that. You come around, you come upwind and you want to put that sail up and you want to go Best VMG as soon as possible, but it takes about 5 seconds for the sail to go. And if you hit it after 3 seconds before the sail's up, then the boat actually goes to Best VMG based on there not being the big sail up. So it goes Best VMG for upwind. Yeah, so you suddenly start heading the wrong direction. It's frustrating, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, especially when you're a newbie as I am, when playing, not commentating. Just before we're going offline, Steve, we know some of the players. Actually, we know most of the players. And as I told you in this summer playoff, Bjørn-Lüthi, he's number 6 in the world. And in the summer playoff, he was only placed, I think, 12 or 13. But here we can see right now the list of who's getting the most point in the world. It's Villista 7-1, part of the World Championship 2018 in Florida. Peditro 22. I don't know this Peditro guy. I haven't met him yet. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, Pedrito, he's also the sailing club that you know of, and all the guys in the sailing club. He competes a lot with the Sear. No, he's been around a long time. Really good, really competitive. He's another one of the guys like myself and like a Sear and others who sometimes we do things that we get annoyed with the other guy, but we do the same ourselves. So, he's a real battler. He's a competitive guy. Yeah.
And then we have HSC Bundesliga team, HSC Bundesliga team. It's because I'm living in the German region. He went visiting me in Kiel, and I just have to say he's a sailor in the real life, so he might have this blue mark. He's sailing in the Bundesliga team, and one of his fierce competitioners there is Roxy Joni. And when we go up here on the top, we can press here on the globe, then we can go into the German competition. And here we can see he is in front, but in second, his biggest competition are both in real life and in eSailing, Roxy Joni.
Yeah. Actually, what you showed the chart of all the top guys, in the world, Villista and the rest of them. Practically all of these guys are real top sailors in the real world as well. I mean, Villista, Pedrito, Bundesliga's line, Laser, which we know is actually KZ7. These guys are Maradoni, Kulu. These are all really good sailors in real life. So there is definitely an advantage in this game if you're a good sailor. I mean, Sear, he's a really good sailor. These guys, they're already good sailors. So when they come into this game, they understand sailing and they understand tactics and they can apply them to the game. But I will say, on the other hand, there are people like myself who don't know the rules of sailing, who don't know about sailing, and you can come in here and you can learn to play well, and you can still be a good sailor in this game, even if you're not a good sailor in real life.
And there we have an example too. Confluentia. He's 9th in the world. He's a non-sailor, living in the northern part of Switzerland, where they only have rivers. He's practicing 5 to 10 races a day. We had an interview with him, Alec Wilkinson and I. And just to hear him, how he had to read the rules of sailing, had to go in and learn about sailing to be better in eSailing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it is like that at the beginning. If you're non-sailor and you start playing this game, you can't understand penalties. You're getting these penalties you can't understand. It takes a little bit, but it's really good. I think it's a really great game for people to learn about sailing because, you can play this game, learn the rules. So if you did get out on a boat, at least you've got some idea about what you should and shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And this is also the way why I've been learning so much of sailing. To be a commentator here on eSailing TV, I have to watch sailing programs to learn the rules and all that. And one of the few things I'm just watching at the moment is Sail GP. These fast boat Formula 15. They're almost like Formula 18. Whoa, it's so funny to see. It's the fastest boat class in the world. They're going so fast through the water. But also quite fun to see how they're slowing down when they're losing wind. Suddenly they only sail 4 knots.
Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? And a boat, 10 meters away can actually be in a bit of wind. And he's doing 20 knots and the other boat's sitting in nothing. And he's doing... it'd be heartbreaking if you're sitting on the boat with no wind.
Steve, just a small question. This world ranking list we have here, the world ranking list, it's more about players who are having the most points. Is this the 8 best going to the World Cup Championship, or is it who's qualifying in the playoff in September?
Yeah, so this is basically from qualify. So this is what are we looking at the moment? World ranking. So this is from the qualifying. So
this is for all races they have been doing, most points. So if you're really active, like Willister, Horace Bundesliga team, Laser, Peditro, then you're sure of getting a lot of points. So if you're participating in every race, you can get high on this ranking list, and also
that's right.
But
that's right. So there are people who have not had the same amount of time to race. They may not be on the chart. They might be still really good sailors. But the top guys are the top guys there. But there could be some others that aren't there that are also top players. So, these guys have been able to race a lot of the races because if you're in, you can see there's points. Velista has 3,020. The last race he had, he obviously managed to get 100 points. Yeah, which is amazing. And so because of that, he's got some high points. But you can imagine if you missed a couple of races or a few races, you could have you could have less points, but it doesn't mean that you're not such a good sailor.
No. So this is more prestige list, this one, because but it's opposite when we're going into the national federations. This is the German Federation's national championship. So here the top 10 players will automatically get a spot to the playoffs in September. So here there's something on stake. So this Prom 10. He is so close of getting Habibi's place. So they can really have to fight for it. So Secret Sailing and Knut have to do some more races to be sure to get into the playoffs in September. If they miss 3 races, they can go out of top 10 list.
You're right.
And
there's quite a big difference. I mean, so some of these boats are really well assured of being.
Yeah.
Isn't this great? That virtual regain. These world championships happening. I mean, it just adds so much more interest to it all. We've got the world racing, national championships on. Got these individual countries with their championships on. I mean, coming from New Zealand, I really hope we can have a time when there'll be something from New Zealand, happening. And
I read that the Sailing Federation from New Zealand want to join in the Virtual Regatta. I saw an article where they want to improve using Virtual Regatta as a way to create interest for sailing, but also to use it to practice the mindset of the sailors.
Yeah, well, as we were talking about before, you and I come from a sailing background, but we certainly know a lot of sailing by playing this game. I know sometimes there's a little bit of a contradiction with the rules. There are some rules in this game that are interpreted slightly differently from what it might in the real world, but we also, I can see why, because this game, first of all, when boats bang together here, nobody gets hurt and no boats get damaged. So the rules can be slightly different. And secondly, is that a race lasts for 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 minutes, right? So things happen a lot faster. Whereas in a normal race, I guess, I don't know how long the races last, maybe 30 minutes, an hour or something
30
like
minutes,
this.
1.5 hours sometimes.
Yeah, in the real world, right? So these things are sped up. So that's why, for instance, if you are sitting next to someone side by side and you're in the windward position, which means you're, they're on the wind's on the side, you're in their wind, and you tack and you manage to nudge their boat and you give them a penalty. In the real world, you wouldn't be allowed to do that because you can't turn into the other boat when you're on the side of them like that. But in this game, you can, and I love doing that one. That's a wonderful penalty because they've got you like in a bit of a hold, like in a grip that you can't get them past. But if you can get close enough to the side of their boat when you're in the windward position and put a tack on them and touch the side of their boat and give them a penalty and go past, it's a wonderful feeling. So yeah, there are rules that are different here than what we find in sailing. The pure sailors, they sometimes get a bit upset with people like me who more use the rules of the game rather than the rules of the sailing, and they put up the angry face, but I try to put a smiley face back. So it's
Part
the
of the
fun of the
game.
game.
I made this introduction video about how to come into the sailing school and learn the basic of sailing, because we're doing a lot of live events where we're coming up with an exhibition with eSailing TV, and then we are introducing for non-sailors or people who are kids, youngsters who's interested in sailing, how it works, how to capture the wind, how to capture the sail. And in there, I had a comment from one of the sailors from New Zealand, I think it was, where he was saying playing virtual regatta has made his race much better in real life because his mindset was changed. And that's fantastic to hear. This means that this type of simulating game is actually changing the mindset because he has to think faster. He has to take a decision much faster than on water, where he can have 3, 4, 5 minutes to take the decision what to do next.
Yeah, right.
Steve, we have another competition online, and this is one of the competitions we never speak about. See here. When we're pressing the right corner, we can see this round mark with a trophy and a sail. This is who's getting the most trophy points. Getting trophy points is not because you have been sailing a lot. You can sail not much, and then you can get a lot of trophies. For every time you're winning a race, you get points. Every time you're getting a 5th or 6th position, you're losing points. Example, we can see this Papa chart, -10 in his last race. Yeah, it's because he got position 5 or position 6, then he got -10. Where this Binkinis Brad, he got +19 because he was winning a race. And
this is tough.
Yeah, when we're scrolling down on this one, we can see Sailing Shark 7. And we can also see Villester. He's the winner. He's really the top of the top. He's only 11, but it's because he's doing so many races, taking so many chances. He's not only doing his best serious scores, he's racing much more.
There's something about this chart, though, Thomas, that's made it a little bit unreliable because for a while there were races with about 12, 14, or even there was a stage where we had about 16 boats with some of the regattas in a race. And this ELO chart is based on your position in races and who else is in the race. So if you came first in a race of 14 boats, but all the other 14 boats were really low in their points they had in this ELO chart, you wouldn't get many points. But if you won a race and there were some other good races that were high up on the ELO, you'd get a lot of points. So especially when there were like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 races in a boat, you could get a lot of points. Even if you came second or third, you could still get quite a lot of. Now, with the races we're tending to have, especially with the summer series, and there's been more like 7 races, 8 race people in a boat, 9 in a race. So there's been less people in a race. So the people at the top, like Papa Chat, I'll tell you, it's a secret. Well, this is La Murnore, say La Murnore, one of the top guys. We haven't seen him for a little while. He's having a little bit of a. But this is one of the boats that he created last year and tilted Toto. And all these guys, they haven't raced for quite some time because they were racing at a time when you could get more points because there were more boats in the race. So actually, if you go down, really the guy that's racing at the moment of all these people, the only one that's raced recently is Sailing Shack, which is a seer.
Yeah.
So he's done very, very, very well to get his name up to number 7. He's there when and from there, this 68430 hasn't raced. Seaforce, that's also someone who hasn't raced for a long time. Villista, of course, has. So Villista also is doing really well, and Lucas is doing very well. So Sailing Shack, Lucas, and Villista are three top sailors, and they really should be at the top of this chart. They need to really think about this chart and find a way of updating it, because it's a little bit outdated. Boats that raced a long time ago that haven't raced for a while are being able to maintain their position at the top. Because I'll say one last thing about it is that even if you're at the top, if you were Sailing Shack and you got 1995 points, he might get +6 for a win. Now he might go in a race, and if he had a bad race, he could get -100. Just like that, boom, -100. So, but then to get those points back again, you've got to win a lot of races to get back up there again. So it shows consistency, but it also at the moment is a little bit weighted towards players that haven't been playing for a little.
But I know all of us are taking this one as the official world ranking list at the moment, and this one is what we are all happy about. Yeah. So, Steve, it has been a great pleasure to have you with me online today. I hope that we can do it a little bit more. I know you're going on small vacation again here, trying to go home to New Zealand. But Steve, it's a great pleasure to have you online in studio. We always have these fantastic talks, like we have been knowing each other for years, about everything, about how it works, about how to sail. Next time I will have you online, I will hope to have some races with you, doing some races. I know you cannot always concentrate explaining what you're doing and thinking and racing, but it's so fun to see you pirate dock in action. So,
well, maybe I'm well practiced enough now that I can talk a race at the same time, since I've 38 races. But no, that's great, Tom. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I head off to New Zealand. I'll be there for a couple of weeks, and I'm sure while I'm there, we'll have the chance to get together again, and that'd be great. Thank you very much. I'd love to.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. And to all of you, thank you for watching. I know I can see on Facebook that more than 1,000 viewers has been following us today. It's fantastic. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Virtua Regatta's official Facebook side. You go on YouTube, also eSailing TV. You can go on Twitch.tv and eSailing TV, and you can also soon follow us on Mixer, this new streaming area where you can go in. Steve, have fun, have a good day, and all of you, thank you for watching. We will be back later on, end of this summer playoff, to see who is going to win it. Hi, thank you for watching eSailing TV. You can follow us on different social medias online. Go to twitch.tv/eSailingTV and follow us, or just go to Twitch, write eSailing TV in the search area. Then you come to our channel. Here you can scroll down, see the rest of the social medias we are on. YouTube, Facebook, homepage. Please subscribe. Get direct notifications when we are online. You can also go on the videos. If you didn't watch the last live show, you go here and see it. You can also see some of the clips we are doing, or clips some of the other viewers have been doing. Are you more the Facebook type? Then please go to Facebook, write eSailing TV. Then you will get to our Facebook page. When you're in the Facebook page, you can see the live shows. We're doing live shows on 2 channels, Twitch and Facebook. But when you're scrolling down, you will also see clips, small clips, learning videos of what we're doing. Here we're attacking people. Here we're attacking sports federations. So a lot of people will know that we are live. Please share, please like, please follow us. We're also on YouTube. Go to YouTube, write eSailing TV. If you're going on eSailing TV, you can see a lot of videos. Right now, more than 100 videos are online. Here you can go back in time, see some of the races, or see some of the really, really good duels we have. You can also see a learning video. We're placing everything up there, but we're not sending live on YouTube. I just have to say thank you for following eSailing TV. Please subscribe, please like, please share what we're doing. Together, we're growing eSailing TV and eSailing in total. Thank you for watching.